GM everyone. This is Leon of BraveMoney. Just doing another late night Saturday random stream again. Again, no schedule, just whenever I can put on a show. And yeah, sometimes I'll have a guest on here. Sometimes it'll just be me talking about stuff. But anyways, yeah, the topic today is kind of like looking at global trends and global change, like the markets. With the shifting in worries, right, around the world these days, and how I kind of think about that, how that kind of leads into my future exit in crypto. This cycle, this is my fourth crypto cycle. I've had amazing exits each time, always like 10x the last time I exited, and I expect that trend to continue going on this year. So real quick, let's start with the markets though. A lot of good looking green at the moment. Bitcoin hit $104,000 at the moment, still kind of following this global M2 money line. There we go. Solana over here, $180 almost hit, or it did touch it. Yeah, hit it 180. Breaking out of this. Let me zoom this daily chart. Let me zoom this into focus right here. So we had this kind of like wedge pattern form. This kind of like exuberance Q4 of last year, along with the meme coin cycle that kind of popped up, and then that kind of collapsed on itself a little bit. We had some sideways action on Bitcoin during this period as well. Now Solana is breaking up, and liquidity is continuing on. Apparently, Trump and China are working out a deal. So, yeah. And again, guys, real quick, let me just pull this chart back out over here. And this, I believe I'm using the 84-day offset. I am on global M2 at Bitcoin. So what Colin and I are both looking forward to are these. Oh, let me choose a different color. 1 second. Let me make that purple. These kind of like two expansions right here. Looking really forward to like what happens during this time. So this actually happens, if we were to sync up, again, 80-20 correlation here. Yeah, this happens at end of May. Oh, real quick, let me share this on Discord real quick. And Telegram. Oh. Cool. Yeah, so this again, this is global M2 right here, and what this happens in May, end of May, guys. And we basically, this is saying we'll hit $120,000 to $130,000 Bitcoin price in June. Let's see if that happens or not, right? But like that would be amazing. And then this next expansion is basically in the start of July, going deep into July. Yeah, what's up, Gambit? I see Gambit in the YouTube channel comments. But yeah, we're talking about $170,000 Bitcoin in July, guys. It obviously, Bitcoin could decorrelate a little bit, but the trend is up as money continues to get printed. Anyway, so let's get to the topic of today's show. It's part crypto, part again. The title is looking at global change like the markets, right? I want to recommend a new YouTube. So last time I did a video, I recommended Colin. Check out this guy. It's Andrew of Nomad Capitalist, and I've been watching like every single one of his videos lately. In fact, here's a recent video I just started watching. Actually, when was this? Oh, it's 3 weeks ago. But he was on Saifedean Moose's podcast, the Bitcoin standard guy. But they're talking about Bitcoin, China in here as well. We'll be talking about China. But yeah, check it out. It's like you don't have to be stuck in wherever geography you're at. It's like make your money, and then go to where you're treated best. So he's got a series of shows. He's in Madrid, Bangkok recently, Bali, Medellin, Oman. His whole thing is about getting different passports and residence programs, and whatnot. So yeah, like, because yeah, we're in very chaotic times in a moment, and I'll just go ahead and get into my charts, right? So, so here we go. This is just the global M2 Bitcoin chart to kind of show, what we were just talking about earlier in the video. It's like Frank has a question. Love the thoughts and the outlook of the NFT market. Honestly, man, I'm not that interested in NFTs. Like, I do want to get a Boogle at some point, but that's not an investment, right? I mean, that is an investment, but that's like, you're getting access to a certain club. That's how I look at NFTs now. I don't look at trying to trade NFTs. It's all about meme coins. I like getting in and out of something that's liquid, and NFTs aren't liquid. They were very liquid, like that second half of 2021, but yeah, there's nothing. I would not get into NFTs to kind of flip them, which is what I assume you're probably talking about. You could do that with meme coins. Yeah, meme coins is just a better asset to do that in. Anyways, so let's talk about global GDP, guys. Let me slideshow this. So there's a lot of information on here, but pay attention to the years here. So we got a block in 1982 to 1981, that light color, 1992, 2001. Then you got the next decade, 2002, 2011. And then basically the dark one is where we're at now. So this is showing global GDP growth and how it's changing over time, right? And obviously we can look over at Europe. It's in a massive decline. And as far as traveling in the future, I would not recommend going to Europe. Like, I would obviously visit for tourism, but like, as far as living in Europe, like, heck no. A lot of reasons why, but and we're going to get into some of that. Latin America, again, growth is kind of like declining there. North America, obviously, we're tapping out about 2 to 2.9, 2.6 here in this chart. But look at this, all the way on the left, right? So these are emerging markets in Southeast Asia. Obviously, East Asia, we're talking about China, Japan, Korea, with all that kind of section. I wonder if that, I wonder if India is taken account in here. No, yeah, South Asia, that'll be like India. But anyways, Southeast Asia is where I want to be during this next exit, right? I mean, I was there in 2021 to 2023 last time, right? It's just and this is me being a nomad capitalist, digital nomad, global citizen. That's how I kind of think of myself, right? Obviously, yeah, I'm an American citizen, got an American passport. And who knows if I keep that, right? There's a whole globe out there. You can get different passports. You can get different residence permits and whatnot. You can benefit from better tax treatment. Anyways, so Southeast Asia is and we're going to focus on that. It's a very highly growing economic block at the moment, right? So thinking about geopolitics and geography as like a chart, it's like basically the Western world is kind of topped out, guys. Where it's topped out for on many metrics, and it's been declined and subpar on many others as well. Health and whatnot. And there's other places in the world that are safer, less violence, less racial tension, less wokeness, less of this modern feminism that's going on. And more traditional kind of conservative, like culturally, but at the same time, there's freedom and whatnot, economic freedom, There's healthy food. There's lifestyle improvements, and you're in a region where it's mostly young and growing populations with economic booming going on. So it's like if I was to get into real estate, it's like I would not want to buy. Why would you get into real estate in a place like the U.S. where housing is overpriced? Like, look at places where housing is underpriced. Get it there while you have a growing young population that and their economy is booming, more jobs, better jobs, more GDP coming into the country. People get wealthier. They buy better houses over time. Like, you want to be at that ground level, right? Think of it as a chart. You don't want to buy high. Like let's say we're over here in this M2 chart, right? That tops out at August right here. At the moment, you could keep going. You don't want to buy here. You want to buy down here. So that's what I'm talking about, right? Here's another chart. Two different charts here. The one on the left here is kind of showing debt burden score. So the top, basically, these are countries that have surpluses. And the countries at the bottom, these are the highly indebted countries. Obviously, U.S. and U.K. I didn't realize the U.K. had that much debt as well. But the most indebted countries at the bottom, the countries that actually have a surplus at the top. And then this blue graphic over here, this is showing annual real GDP growth over the last 10 years. Like look at India go, 6.3% GDP. I think this is like current year projections. China 4%, Turkey. I didn't realize Turkey was going that well. Indonesia, UAE, obviously that's where Dubai is, 5.5%. US on this chart is 1.4%. Oh, 1 second, guys. Who's calling me? 1 second. Oh. I think that was my homie August is joining. 1 second, let me just toss him the. 1 second here, guys. Google Meets link. I'm just gonna create a new meeting right now. Let me toss this over to him. Hey, August, how's it going?
Hey, Elfon. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. So it was 8:30 or was it 8?
Oh, did we say 8:30? Dude, my bad, bro.
This is what I wrote down on my calendar. So
I think my calendar thing just popped up at 8. That's why. But I just it's all good.
no problem. Yes. How are you, man?
Oh, did good. I was just like, I actually created 2 thumbnails. I had a thumbnail because I was going to talk about SPX 6900, but I had this other one because I want to talk about global stuff too, right? All right, so
We can cover all topics, man. Like we can cover SPX 6900, spirituality, digital nomadism,
we're going to cover it all real quick. Yeah. So real quick. Everyone, this is my friend August. We met in Southeast Asia, in different countries in Southeast Asia. But at the time he was living in Singapore. Real quick, August, kind of give us a little intro, like who you are, and then a little bit about your company, and then we'll get into some other things. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm Auguste. So basically, I live in Southeast Asia. I've been running an algo trading firm for the last 4 years. So it's called AlphaGrow. So what we do is that we focus on market neutral strategy and delta neutral strategies. And we trade crypto. Actually, we also have like a parallel stream that is a bit more degen, let's say, that we just started. So the first stream is very serious, very, let's say, institutional grade type of algorithms that we run, focused on high liquid, cryptocurrencies, and it's been doing pretty well over the last 3 years, so around 40% each year. But the new stream that we just started is a bit more degen. Like now we are exploring the DeFi, and more specifically, we're exploring the Solana DeFi. And there is a lot of things to do. It's kind of the Wild Wild West. And because of the quality of our infrastructure, we think that we are in a good position to, repurpose some of our infrastructure to be fast on the Solana blockchain, and maybe do things like, maybe not sniping, but identify smart wallets, but in a proprietary way that we think is not done at the moment, and that could allow us maybe to find smart wallets that are not publicly known, and other ideas of this nature.
Oh, cool. Interesting. So with the DeFi, like, just a quick question on that. It's like, are you guys talking about like looking for different yields on like liquidity pools, or like it could be anything in DeFi on Solana?
It could be anything. So it could be anything. There is a learning curve, compared to what we've been doing so far. But at the moment, personally, I'm digging into, identifying what smart wallets are doing. And there are plethoras of ways to identify a smart wallet, And just on that front, coming from first principle, like, can you find smart wallets in ways that, are not necessarily obvious? And therefore, can you find basically smart wallets that most people are not aware of? And either follow what they're doing or reverse engineer what they're doing, So that's what I'm focusing on at the moment. But as you said, there are so many. The Solana blockchain, there are so many opportunities to generate alpha. But we just started. It's just like we want to diversify a little bit more. We've been milking the cow as far as the centralized exchanges are concerned. We still have many ideas to try, but we just want to explore a little bit more.
Oh, 100%. And yeah, guys. So he's building an app. Like I said, he's already got customers. It's called AlphaGrow. I'll put the links in the video description later. But yeah, 40% a year, and this is you guys have been running for a couple years now, right?
It's been live since 2021.
Yes, it's 2021. So his product has been out there serving customers and making 40% average during the bear market. So that's a good sign to see, and that's definitely a product I want to try out later. But yeah, cool. And another thing, we could talk about this. So we met at this the psychedelic experience in Southeast Asia, where it was a ayahuasca retreat, and just like an eye-opening experience. And I missed that event, and I'd love to do it again. It's very eye-opening. Hey, do you want to talk about your experience with that?
Yeah, sure. We can talk about it. You were there. Ayahuasca. I would say that for me it was a turning point in my life. So I went into the experience with the intention of knowing a bit more about consciousness and reality. Like I had done some mushroom trips prior to that, and had some insights, and I was like, this can be all that it is, like reality. Like there must be something more.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard about ayahuasca, and I thought, okay, let's see, and let's go and see what happens. And my experience was not so much emotional. It was emotional, it was, but it was like just really, it's hard to put words on it, but it's as if the curtain was opened, and I could see what is behind reality and consciousness. and basically it it told me about the nature of us human beings. It's we are not just flesh and matter. Because beyond that, we are spiritual, entities that are just living a temporary experience here on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So it helped me to relativize a lot about life, and the key takeaway for me was that life is supposed to be lived like a game, pretty much. Of course, there are real-world consequences to everything that you do, but it's almost kind of a simulation. I don't like that word, but it's like there is, life is meant to be lived as a video game. So you're supposed to take risks. You're supposed to believe in your dream and purchase your dream. You're supposed to think big. You're supposed to play the best way that you can. So that was one of the key insights.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it was very, man. I had a very it started out really rough for me, but at the end it was very like healing. Yeah, maybe I'll tell my full story at another time. But again, it was a great experience. I think everyone needs to experience that at some point in their lives.
Yeah, and like the beauty of it is that it's long lasting, especially if you make some effort to integrate the experience into your day-to-day life afterwards. I mean, I don't make decisions the same way I used to make the decisions, Like now, like I was pretty much 100% left brain before the ayahuasca ceremony. And now I'm trying to be 50-50. Like I'm trying to put as much importance on my intuition and my, rational mind, and combine both together to make decisions. And my life has changed tremendously after that, just based on that simple fact.
Oh, awesome, man! Awesome, cool. Well, let's just get into another thing that we're like huge fans of, and that's obviously crypto. I mean, you guys are building a crypto products and whatnot. So we're both in the same meme coin. I don't know what your allocation is or a percentage, but like, yeah, it's. When Murad, had that amazing video last September at Token 2049, I'd been searching what is this cycle's parabolic sub asset class that's going to outperform everything else, right? Like what's going to capture the most mind share? And the last cycle there was NFTs, and that really there was a huge shift that cycle, and everyone could feel it, like. All OGs before, were like Gen X, older millennials, mostly TradFi guys and trader bros. But it was definitely a shift into we got to see the next generation of investors getting into the asset class, right? And it started with NFTs because they're fun. There were these pictures, and the thesis on meme coins, it just really hit a chord with me. It was like that's right. This is exactly why these are going to be the coins of this cycle. So that's why we're both in SPX 6900. And yeah, to me, so what my journey with it's been not only I got deep into the community, been doing the free cult labor, as they say, just to get the word out, and it's gone to where, and I didn't really talk about it too much, but I eventually, now I'm running like 6 or 7 different meme coin funds, and they're all 100% just SPX 6900 because of the strength I've been seeing with the people joining it, the conversations, and then the idea about it, right? But I'll pause there. How did you get into SPX? What are your thoughts on it, and what are you seeing? Yeah.
So, Leon, as you know, I lived in Singapore for 8 years. So last year I was in Singapore, and I was at Token 2049. And actually, I was there when Murad was having his talk.
Oh, cool! You saw him live.
Yeah, I saw it live. But the thing is, I was a bit distracted. I was there with my business partner, so we were like just, sometimes talking to each other. So I grasped maybe 50% of it, and I was like, oh, okay, meme coins, yeah, interesting, okay, cool. And then went back home, and I had a friend of mine ping me, and I was like, oh man, did you see Murad's talk, because I heard it was like very very insightful. I was like, oh. And then he uploaded the video. I don't remember if it was on YouTube or on X, and I rewatched it. I watched again the video, and then I was like, holy smoke, damn, it makes a lot of sense. And the idea that made the most sense for me was the fact that everything is a meme coin.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, truly he's right. Like all these altcoins, all these vaporware, but I think I don't remember what was the market cap, but it took me maybe to rewatch the video one more time to start accumulating some SPX.
Mm.
So accumulating some SPX was October, end of October. Then it had like a leg up, and then I was like, so I sold some. Basically, I made some profit. I sold some because the idea was not cemented yet in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kept having conversations with people. Oh man, have you heard about SPX? Oh, okay. And then I started to dig a bit more into it. And the second thing, so I told you the first idea that caught my attention was everything is a meme coin.
Mm-hmm.
The second idea that caught my attention was, the power of belief.
Mm-hmm.
So this is when I was fully on board. Is when I because I'm aware of like the law of attraction. I'm aware of like the importance of heart-mind coherence, especially when it's done among a group. For instance, I know that there are a group of people who gather frequently and they meditate collectively, and through their meditation, they are trying to impact positively the world.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's really well documented. Like you have people like Joe Dispenza that talk about it. And then I was like, fuck it, actually, man, SPX 6900 is the embodiment of that. And I started to follow people on Twitter, and I started to realize there is an entire army of delusional believers that are behind that coin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay, and they are, seem to be relatively higher IQ than the average person in crypto.
Mm-hmm.
And also they mention spirituality, the power of belief. There is no chart. Believe in something. So the word believe in something. As I was going into my research and as I was getting interested in it, the meaning of believing in something changed for me over time. The first one I heard about it was when Murad was concluding at token for 2049. Stop trading, believe in something. I was like, oh, this is so cheesy,
Mm-hmm.
And then as I was, actually, man, the power of belief.
Yeah.
So then it made a lot of sense because that's pretty much what happened with Bitcoin. That's pretty much what has been happening with XRP and Cardano. It's a community that delusionally believe in the success of that crypto, and because they believe it so strong, the universe has no choice but to materialize it in reality.
Oh,
and it's becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so when I realized that, I was like, fuck, this is the one.
100%.
And this is the one because it is. You can see when you go on X that it is genuinely the case, because you have a lot of meme coins that claim that, oh, we are a community and it's PvP No, it's a PVE, and but no, bullshit. It doesn't translate into the actions of the community. Where here, they are genuinely believing it, and you can see it in their actions, and you can see that there is something that is like growing, and you can see that this thing is gonna explode at some point. So now I've been ramping up during the dip in was it February or March? I don't remember, when it was like at below a 300 million market cap.
Okay, yeah. 30
I
cents.
loaded massively on SPX. So I have kind of like a barber strategy where I have Bitcoin and I have some meme coins. SPX is like 80% of it. So that's pretty much my how I'm playing it. Yeah.
Boom. No, dude, brilliant. And it's like the same thesis that I have, dude. It's like, we got into meme coins like late last year, and yeah, I got into it when it was 2 cents after that video, and I think that was about 20 million market cap, and I traded a little bit in October. It went up to like 5-7 cents, and it just really it just took off, right? In fact, I'll just go ahead and let's do this real quick. Let me share my screen. I know there's no chart, but we're gonna bring up some stuff. This is some other topic I want to get to at some point. By the way, it hit 80 cents today, dude. And I also did, I bought I was buying so much this whole bottom half right here in the 30-cent range. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep holding. But yeah, and this was when we discovered it was September 25th, actually, right? Oh, you're right at this inflection point around 5 cents. So yeah, 50 million. So now it's basically a billion tokens, $780 million market cap. It's been over a billion before. That's where we're headed. We're heading into multi-billion again. But yes, like what you said, it's the power of belief, man. And that's the thing in crypto. It's like that's how Bitcoin started too. It's like because all it was, early mining wasn't as strong. Now mining in Bitcoin is very powerful, right? But it started as this idea, like, hey, this mining power of Bitcoin can eventually grow and get stronger, and people realize that your money is getting weaker over time, Bitcoin's scarce, and this and that, right? So there were some fundamentals in the story of Bitcoin. And then after that, you had these other coins that came out, like you mentioned XRP, Cardano. Dude, those were like the original. I mean, you had the Bitcoin meme, then you had like the original early memes in crypto, which was XRP and Cardano, right? And they'll say things like, "Oh yeah, all banks are going to accept them." It's that, and that hasn't happened. But that's like the belief that was going to happen, and that's what has XRP having a lot of like strong holders in that community. And it's a top 5 coin because of that, right? It is because of pure belief in crypto. And we talked about this the other day, where it was just like, all this stuff is a belief. It's like money is a belief system, right? It's just a shared belief with the most people in the world, right? Like we believe that this money has value. It's $1 is $1, and this means this in certain countries. This means that here, and 100%. And we build systems and institutions on top of that belief, and it just compounds. And then, let's get into other assets, like we're talking about stock market shares, right? It's like it's all belief that because this company has grown to a certain size, a certain revenue, its products are known well. And these shares mean this ownership. What you do? Owning a share means you own this. Owning the Bitcoin, you own this. Owning a coin of SPX 6900, you actually own that coin. Actually, with owning stocks, you actually don't own it. It's like somebody else actually owns it, but they give you the right to kind of like do things with it. But
yeah.
And then with like stocks like Apple, right? It's like unless you're like the 0.1% that actually holds enough Apple to actually vote. It's like your ownership doesn't actually mean anything other than you have an asset which you can trade, and it's all belief, man. And then now if it comes down to all belief, there's dog memes out there that are funny. There are AI memes and like, oh yeah, this thing's going to take over the internet, whatnot. but like what are the strong ideas in these memes, right? And so with SPX 6900, there's a whole idea of flip, not just believe in something, but like flip the stock market, right? But what they're really saying is like, hey, there's a whole other generation of people that are coming up, and this is something like the mid like, oh dude, our hate of the mid curvers. I'm glad that we share that. So it's like, because the mid curvers are the people who always think, oh, things are always going to stay the way they are. And it's like, no, it's like you got a next generation coming up, and they're gonna choose different assets. They're gonna and choose different investments, and that's how it shifts the whole financial system in that way. And SPX is part of that.
I mean, it's funny because they don't realize that the only constant is change. Like, and like at some point, one generation like dies, a new generation comes in. You need a way for the wealth to be transferred. There are many ways, and I think given the current environment, it's not stupid to believe that a meme coin can reach decabillions or hundreds of billions of because it can just represent the hope of an entire generation.
Mm-hmm.
Like people who know, I'm not making it, and you have like an opportunity to 10x, 100x your net worth. Okay, I'm gonna gamble on it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's not stupid to bet on meme coins.
No, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, the key is to find the best of the meme coins, and I think SPX is a great candidate.
Oh, 100%. It's like it's kind of the GME story kind of started out a similar way. It was just like the crowd around the world, and America started in America, was like, hey, like let's just choose to make this company win. And it was almost like it was like the little guys versus the older the bigger guys battle, and Roaring Kitty just was kind of like the leader of that.
Yeah.
And it went insane just because of belief, just because of like they wanted to be a part of something, a movement. And
Yes.
what is so exciting for me is like SPX is way more global than GME is. There's no circuit breakers that get shut off. and you can't print more shares or print more coins of it. So yeah.
And there are so many layers. I feel like I've not covered all of the layers for why I'm bullish on SPX, but there are so many layers. Just like the other day, we were talking about the fact that the ceiling is virtually infinite. We're talking about flipping the stock market. So this just that aspect makes it likely for SPX to become a multi-cycle coin as well.
Mm-hmm. No,
because it's unlikely that it flips the stock market this cycle, but then you will still have that narrative, right? And as the community grows and as the market cap increases, that the likelihood that this happens increase automatically. So it's it makes it a multi-cycle play as well.
There's so many. Yeah. There's so many linear effects with it, right? Because it's not just like, it is a smaller market cap coin, but it's gaining traction with the young generation who are social media experts, right? And it's so we're talking about like what could happen with an XRP or Doge, but with this younger internet native generation, and we're talking about an expanding global crypto environment and a pro crypto environment too. So there's all these like kind of like precursors to an insane crypto rally and crypto growth. Like we're back over 3 trillion total of all crypto. And in my opinion, I mean, we're going to like 100, 200 trillion. And yes, a multi-cycle coin, like instantly. Like, so XRP has gotten that, Doge has gotten that. And again, Doge is just a dog. It's funny. XRP it's got that OG status, which I think is going to fade over time. But this thing is a little bit different. It's like like let's create our own market because we're tired of getting screwed. Let's just own something that can't be taken away.
Absolutely.
It's different in that way, man.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And the message is also I don't know. It's very I'm not gonna say pure. I don't like that word. I don't think that anything is pure, but it's a message that can almost speak to the soul.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so it's yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, I'm still buying. I got the only other meme coin I have at the moment is Frog, but it's very tiny compared to my SPX. But dude, I'm just super excited for this summer that's coming up. And earlier in the video when I started streaming, this is the Bitcoin chart here on the left, Solana on the right. But yeah, we covered this a little bit too the other night, where it's like these two up moves right here in M2. I mean, this starts in end of May. Like, and this is like projecting Bitcoin basically. If obviously if Bitcoin follows, which in my opinion is going to follow. Now, how exactly? That's the question. But $120,000 coin in May to June, and in early July, we're talking about over 150. So, looking at
Wow.
that, this is just the growth of crypto, Bitcoin globally. But what is that going to happen with memes, right? It just there's so much liquidity coming in because of how governments have to print money and come in. It's just, dude, the opportunity is here. It's like that's why I do this podcast. That's why I help out on the dumb money. That's why I post on X. It's like, like what's my contribution to the world, right? Like I mean, I got my own personal aims and ambitions, but like, what can I share to help others? It's like, guys, I learned this only because of holding Bitcoin back in the day. It's like I realized you cannot build wealth just working a job 9 to 5. Like you have to be an investor. Like you have to accumulate assets. Like that's how the world works, and most people don't know that still. It's like, like 10 years, man. I've talked about crypto and I've tried to get my family into it. But some have gotten into it, but I feel like we just need to tell them more. It's like, guys, you have to invest. You have to invest. This is where, like, crypto is basically the start of a new, like, global stock market, and in my opinion, it's going to be bigger than that because there's so many things that crypto is going to absorb the entire stock market itself. Like, we're going to have tokenized equities and whatnot, right? Tokenized real estate. It's going to absorb several asset classes into one. It's like. And we're at the start of it. Like crypto, all of crypto is like, equivalent to like one of the biggest companies just in the stock market, right? But we're talking about it's going to flip the whole stock market. But yeah.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
So another thing I wanted to talk about, and there's all kinds of tangents in this video here, but like. Was this geographical kind of like safety net I kind of wanted to bring up here because you're originally from France, right?
Yes.
And
Exactly.
you've lived in Asia for a while now, and you moved to Vietnam now.
Now in Vietnam. So I recently left Singapore to move to Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't regret that choice. Let's say.
Awesome. Yeah, I guess speak a little bit to like what do you remember of France or the last time you were there, and it kind of compare that to your daily life now. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, what I remember from France are like beautiful memories from childhood, the great food, the hikes in nature, and the four seasons. The richness of the culture, the richness of the cuisine, all of that. This is really like what I got from France because I left after my graduation. So I didn't have the opportunity to experience France as like an entrepreneur or as at the beginning of my career. And I'm glad that was the case And just that I had an internship towards the end of my study. So I was studying machine learning AI, and I had an internship. It was an 8-month internship uh, before I graduated. And during that internship, I had a glimpse of the work culture in France, and it just didn't resonate with me, and I was like, okay, I don't think that I will work in France. I will try to find something abroad. And also, I had a double degree program where I graduated as well from Georgia Tech in the US. So after that internship, I finished my second master at Georgia Tech. And when I was in the US, at Georgia Tech, there was a lot of people from all over the world. So I get exposed to many cultures. I realized that there are many different ways of doing things. And this reinforced in me the idea of not working in France, of exploring something different. And this is how I ended up in Singapore, basically. And as time was going, and as I had friends from college, starting their career in France, so I would catch up with them. I started to realize that all my, let's say, worries were confirmed. So the career progress is not so good in France. You can come from like a top engineering school. There will be a massive ceiling, unless you get lucky. Entrepreneurship is really hard in France, I find. It's and also the mindset, the overall mindset, is that success, somebody else succeeding is not necessarily a good thing. It might not be obvious what I'm saying, and maybe people in the comment will be mad, about it. But I can tell you, man, that when somebody is successful, it's not people are like, why him? And while in the US there was a different mentality around success, I found. So yeah, all of these factors made me like want to stay in Southeast Asia, and that's pretty much.
100%. Yeah. So you didn't get to experience the high taxes too in France.
Oh man, I mean, man, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the perfect trajectory for me, because I studied AI and I was doing machine learning and AI, while before it became before it became a hype. So because I was early, I could get like a pretty good salary from the beginning. In Singapore, very low tax. At the time, the cost of living was still okay, So man, I saved a lot of money for a 9 to 5. That's what I mean. Like, and this is what has allowed me to start thinking a bit more about how do I invest that money? And this is how I got interested into investment and finance. Because initially I was just a tech guy, machine learning. I was working in a biotech startup, and it's when having money on the side gave me the opportunity to start learning more about investment and everything, and this led me to crypto eventually. And this even made me like pivot and start this algo trading thing with my business partners. So I would not have been on that trajectory if I had stayed in France. I think if I had stayed in France, most likely I would be frustrated about many things. Maybe I would have figured out a way. Yeah, because of my personality. Yeah. But anyways, it would not have been like this straightforward, I think.
Gotcha. No, 100%. And I've heard some similar things from friends that I have in Europe too, where it's like There's a sense of like people they don't like you if you're rich or like you get wealthy and you know there's this whole they're very kind of status much more socialist than like in other places in the world like in the U.S. or like Southeast
Yeah,
Asia. But
you kind of have
yeah,
to you have to hide it.
yeah,
Pretty much. I don't know if you heard the stories, but you know Ledger, the company.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Then France, yeah.
So basically, I think the ex CEO of Ledger was like how do you say that, kidnapped
Oh, he was kidnapped. I didn't know that. Oh,
by like gangsters,
oh,
and they cut his finger, I think, because they wanted him like to give his keys. And this is and I heard that recently there was another story like that, you know. So that says a lot about
oof, yeah.
France and how they view people who are successful. It's like I mean, I don't think that you would get that in Southeast Asia.
No, no, yeah, definitely. That's
So yeah.
dang, yeah, a horror story. But yeah. Okay, let me get some of these slides right here. One of these first slides I was kind of showing it, kind of talking about earlier. This is kind of showing global GDP growth rate, right? So it's like year over year. So we see Europe at like basically 2%, Latin America, North America 2.6%. Now there's a lot of money in North America, so that 2% means a lot. But like when we start going over to the left here, we're seeing in Asia, Southeast Asia, or even sub-Saharan Africa, there's massive growth going on in the GDP. It's showing, hey, these economies, these countries are growing fast, and they're also young. They're also younger versus like these other the other countries over here on the right, and that's just showing, hey, like. And I've lived in Southeast Asia for a couple of years. I've traveled almost every year, as well. It's just, dude, like when I'm over there, there's no sense of like danger or like I'm gonna be a victim of random violence. People are just so super friendly. There's not like crazy like race war, culture war, class war, kind of stuff that's like ingrained, right? Like no, people are just going around and living healthy lives and like being around big families and healthy, great food, and the economy is growing. So skyscrapers are going up. Real estate is relatively cheap and like just expanding. So there's a different kind of energy, and that's why I like Southeast Asia. I can't wait to go back. This other slide here, I was showing the first graphic. The top countries over here on the left, so Saudi Arabia. So basically, this is showing countries that have a surplus. And then the countries at the bottom, these are the ones that have more debt. Obviously, U.S. being way there, tied with the U.K. France is third with the highest debt. Yeah, it's interesting, and then over here on the blue graphic, it's like these are GDP growth rates. So we have India right now is outperforming everyone. UAE, that's where Dubai is, and then Indonesia, Saudi Arabia, and then U.S. over here is like a 1% or 1.4%. But and then I did some research myself, and I got these other numbers. So U.S. is actually roughly around 2.9%. China 5.2, but then here's the rest of Southeast Asia. So not just Indonesia at 5.5, but Philippines is 5.5, Vietnam is 5%, where you're at right now, Cambodia, Malaysia, and Thailand. Pretty decent growth rates, right? And so that's things I think about when I think about where do I want to be, in the world. Like I see myself as a traveler too, like a global traveler.
Yeah.
I'll definitely want to have a place, stationary in multiple places, right? But like, yeah, geographical diversity is not just great for investing and lifestyle, but also like security and safety for you and your family too, right?
100%, man.
Dude,
100%.
yeah. And here's another graphic kind of showing the world economy by total GDP. So obviously, U.S. leading, and China next, and then basically this other block here in the top left. This is the entire EU with Russia. I think Southeast Asia is right here, right next to in here, and it was basically the size of India. And then here's another chart I kind of want to show, like a shifting, where things are shifting. Things are shifting back to Asia. So this is going back like 500 years, right? Like basically, China, it was most of the GDP in the world, calculated in gold terms back then were China and India. And then basically the last 200 years, you had this really shift, right, where things just came out of Europe and kind of like changed the world a bit. But things are shifting now. So kind of like how price action shifts on a chart. It's like, hey, like obviously China became the manufacturer of the world, and like India is also growing. The U.S. is staying the same, but their overall GDP is shrinking versus the others. Yeah. Here's another chart. 2,000 years of economic history.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, again, for a while, it was mostly China and India because population size, and we're talking about the agricultural revolution. So where you have the most food, you're gonna have the most wealth and gold and whatnot. And then that shift again, that last 200 years spike where we saw a lot of change in the world, a lot of technology growth and whatnot. And now things are shifting again. And I'm bringing all these charts and stuff and talking about this shifting and changing because it's like that's why there's a sense it's kind of hard to kind of like put into words, but there's a lot of like there's a lot more fear, I would say, that you can kind of like underlyingly sense in the Western world. Like over the past 20 years, like in my opinion, there wasn't really no fear at all. It was just like everything's great, everything's good. But there's this different kind of sense and feeling only because we're sensing this shift, right? It's like, in my opinion, it's like the U.S. and kind of like the Western Europe, we're basically topping out. It's and not for any other reason besides just like this is the natural flow of things. When you get rich, you have technological advancement, you have improvement in education and health, all this kind of stuff goes up. Military goes up, right? And at some point, like there's this debt thing, where it's almost like, okay, there's a saying with the company, right? You have the founder, the grandpa, who he starts the company, he grows it, then the son kind of takes over, he expands it some more, and then you have the grandkid who wastes it all on cocaine and hookers, right? And he just goes downhill. So
Yeah.
you kind of have a similar thing stretched out with civilizations and countries.
It's like the great men create easy times create weak men create hard times create great men. That's cycle.
1,000%. Yeah, this loop goes on like all throughout human history. It's like when people think, oh, things are going to stay the same. No, things are going to change. And normally this stuff is hard to see, right? We don't see it, and it could be skipped in a generation. But we're at a point where we're seeing a lot of this kind of change now, and so it's like, okay, like there's this saying like don't worry about the problems you can't change. Worry about the problems what you can do for yourself, right? It's like, okay, what do I do for me, my family, and loved ones and whatnot? It's like, okay, there's massive change coming. We've got this asset class which is built for the technological age is crypto. We have AI, machine learning, and whatnot that's coming. That's going to revolutionarily change the world. So, being in those sectors are just going to make you better off. I mean, knowing, computer programming is going to be better off, but also understanding that like you have to be an investor. You've got to own assets in this changing world where money in the developed economies is just going to be continued to be printed right now, and we're going to see a competing global currencies. So that's going to introduce turbulence and volatility. But owning assets that can't be inflated is going to put you better off. And then living in a place where, hey, there's optimism rising. Like I said, there's not as much chaos and violence. Like, man, like maybe I pay a little bit too much attention to this, but some of the media I've been seeing in like Europe lately, man, it's kind of like freaking me out. It's like a lot of it's just culture clashes, I would say, right? And you don't really see that in East Asia, as much.
Cultural clashes, and I would say that there is also an underlying scarcity mindset because there is living in Europe. I think today feels like a zero-sum game for many people, and because of that feeling, this is where the tensions comes up. And when there are tensions, everybody is trying to blame the situation on someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think that people are inherently like racist, but I think it's that because they struggle, they need to blame someone. So they can blame it on the rich or on the poor or like on the black guy, or it's like I don't know, like you pick your scapegoat basically. While here in Vietnam, for instance, I feel because the economy is booming, there are opportunities everywhere. It feels even for the local people. So they have nothing against foreigners, and I would even say that they view foreigners positively because they view foreigners as people that can bring business opportunities to them and that can rise the economy for them. And it's funny because 2 days ago, Vietnam announced that they will introduce a 10-year golden visa. So this is literally 2 or 3 days ago. And basically, so the details are not known yet at this stage, but the idea is that if you come with money and you invest, you do certain investments. For now, I don't know how much is it, but then you're gonna get a 10-year visa, you know. And in the same time, the Philippines just launched a digital nomad visa.
Oh, cool.
So it's like all these Southeast Asia countries
Yeah.
are. I mean, the trend is clear, man. And the trend is clear. So we are not talking out of our ass here. So it's really like it's happening.
What 100%? And I feel like they're following like what Singapore did. What Singapore did to be one of the best countries in the world, right? So you had, you know, when they first broke off from when the British left all those different colonies, it was just like a little mud flat, little tiny island, right? Like south of Malaysia, and they're like, you know, the early leaders were like, hey. We've got a diverse population, you know, Indians, Malays, and Chinese, and like how do we get them all to work together? So it's one, you know, hey, let's all speak one language, but also let's import the best people from outside the world, right? And that's what I feel like all these different visa programs are doing. I'm very curious about what that Vietnamese investment is, because I know with the Philippines there's a 75K investment you can do for that. I'm like, oh, dude, that's gonna be amazing because you just stick that into real estate, right? I know you can do it in local stocks too. I'd be curious to know, more about that digital nomad Philippines. I mean, I'm interested in that in Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, basically almost every country down there.
Yeah, Malaysia has already like some pretty good options. I think in terms of, you know, when I was looking it up, in terms of like visa. I think it was the one that was offering the best options. Whether you are an investor or you are a digital nomad, that's pretty good. For me, Vietnam was ticking many boxes, but visa options were not so good. And when I saw that news 2 days ago, I was like, oh damn, you know, maybe it's meant to happen, you know, maybe I should settle here. You know, so
I do. Yeah. So you're in Da Nang, right? And you would recommend that over Ho Chi Minh?
Yes, I would recommend it over Ho Chi Minh. I mean, I guess it's also a matter of personal preferences and what you like. But Da Nang, you have a beautiful beach. You know, you have surfing conditions. I think 3 or 4 months every year. So if you are into surfing, it's really booming. The people here are chill, you know, everybody is just minding his business. It's not, you know, what I like with Da Nang is that they are not aggressive in terms of, you know, trying to get money out of you as an expat. It's like they are just minding their business, and this I like pretty much. And also you have everything that you need, all the facilities. gyms. The internet is fast. You have co-working spaces. Um, Everything is cheap here. I know I should not be saying that because if more people come, prices will go up, obviously. But yeah, no, it's I like Da Nang. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Cool. I got one more slide that's just to finish up real quick. This is GDP PPP. So this is actually what you should be looking at, which is purchasing power parity. Basically, it's like, hey, how much does your local money buy an equivalent good in that country, right? And this is showing like China is already at 40 trillion. U.S. is already number 2 there. India is rising. But yeah, that's the last slide here. But let me stop sharing that for now. But cool, dude. Yeah, I can't wait to get back there, dude. Yeah, Vietnam's on my list to visit. How was your day today? What'd you do on this Saturday in Vietnam?
So it's Sunday actually.
Oh, Sunday, yes, right. Yeah.
So today, so basically, I'm gonna go to the CrossFit gym after this chat.
Oh, cool.
So
I didn't know they had
I
CrossFit.
started
Yeah.
CrossFit. So there is a great CrossFit community here,
Huh.
and yeah, it's amazing. So I will go there for a session, and then after that, brunch somewhere, and then this afternoon do some work, and then this evening dinner with my girl, and then that will be the day.
Boom. Dude, so, yeah, sounds amazing, man. Like, in my spot in the Philippines, I was living in this place called BGC. And it's a very modern, walkable city. It's like, yeah, they've got jujitsu gyms, kickboxing gyms, a cycling gym I got into. And it was an amazing life, man. Just walking around every day, doing my things in the morning. Oh, dude, yeah, I'm missing it now, man.
Yeah. I mean the feeling of freedom, like you have your scooter, you move around, you can park your scooter anywhere that you want, and somehow like it's not messy. Like what I really like with this place is that everybody is doing pretty much what they want, uh, but nobody is doing it at the expense of someone else, and there is common sense that glues everything together. For instance, there is when you are on the road, like there are no instructions of like who has the priority. Like there are barely any like traffic lights, but somehow it is smooth and nothing bad happens because of common sense.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I remember those streets. Yeah, so guys, to put it in perspective, when you're walking around in Vietnam, it's like you just have to, as a pedestrian, you just have to cross the street.
Yeah.
Like the cars are not going to stop, so they will drive around you. So
And somehow it works. Like it works, no, it's amazing, man.
yeah, cool. Well, awesome, man, dude. I mean, that's yeah. We've done an hour chat, and it was all over the place, like we were the other night. But it was great to catch up with you again, dude. And
Yes, same.
yeah, send me the link to AlphaGrow so I can post it in this video.
Yes, sounds great.
Awesome.
I'll do that.
I'll catch you later,
care,
dude.
man.
Thanks. Oh. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, it's really impromptu, kind of like chat with a friend I wanted to catch up with. And yeah, we covered a lot of stuff. I talked about SPX 6900. Again, that's my biggest investment at the moment. And I wanted to talk about how I'm thinking, guys. How am I thinking geographically, right? Where am I going to go later? And I think everyone should start thinking about that.